Oh my God.
Tell
The-
me in a nutshell, what did you experience? Did you?
It was fantastic, except for a couple of times, man. There was an English teacher by the name of, I'm not gonna say her name because she might still be alive, and she's made amends, but she dogged me, man.
Tell me about the dogging.
She would say, like, she would do an assignment, right? Like the letter from Birmingham jail, okay? We were to read that, and when I read that letter, I cried. I read it 3 times, 4 times, and every time I cried because it reminded me of me. You know what I mean? It reminded me of my experience. So when we went to go back to class, she said, "Did anybody read the assignment?" And I raised my hand, and she waved me down. And I was sitting in the front because I was first semester. I was there, so I was in the front because everybody said, "Sit in the front, sit in the front." So I got idiot. There I am sitting in the front, and and nobody raised their hand. I was the only one that had read it. And then she says, "Wow, I don't know how Jesse does it, but he always seems to be prepared." And I wanted to tell her, "Bitch, I read the stuff. What do you mean how I do it? What do you think I do?" But I didn't say nothing. She would say things like that. And then one time, this white student, his wife said, "Why do you let her do that?" And I said, "What do you want me to do? You want me to kill her? What do you want me to do, man?" You know?
So did you feel like you were?
She was picking on me, straight up. She
Straight
was
up.
picking on me, man.
So
One day we were in a circle, and I don't know what she said, to be honest. I don't remember specifically, right? But she like embarrassed me, right? And I go, "Miss Little," I said her name, sorry. But she said, I said, "That's enough, man." And she looked at me and I go, "Don't do that again." And I looked at her like, "I'm telling you, don't do that no more." And she's like, "Okay," And then after class, I go, "Look, I don't know who you think I am, you know what I mean? But I'm gonna tell you, I'm not your typical student. And you've been dogging me ever since I got here, man." She goes, "No, yes, you have. And you know what? You don't dog nobody else, man. And I don't appreciate it, and I'm not gonna tolerate it no more. Don't do it again." And then she goes, so, you know, years later, I did a presentation at Delta College in the theater. And she brought in her class, and I seen her. And I was talking about, being nice to people and, all that stuff. And I was directing it at her, but I didn't, of course. So afterwards, they had a little reception, and she got in line, right? And when she walked up to me, and then she shook my hand, and she goes, "You probably won't remember me." And I said, "I remember you. Mary Little, English 1A, Tuesdays and Thursdays, 1:30 to 3. You gave me a B." And she goes, but I wasn't mean to her because you know why? Because by that time I realized that it took a lot of courage for her to get in line and congratulate me. So I just said, I was humble to her, I was nice to her, but she hurt my feelings a lot, man. And so, one time she goes, "Today we're gonna do an essay," and I went, "What?" So I thought she said, "Today we're gonna do an essay." You know what I mean? Like kill somebody. And I was like, "What?" So I looked around, and there was only one other guy that was a Mexican. He was young and he wasn't paying attention. And in my mind, I said, "Well, they ain't doing me. Probably gonna do him." I mean, and I was gonna I got sort of panicked, right? But I didn't say nothing. And then I found out that, an essay, I said, "Oh, she's talking about an essay." "Oh, okay, okay." And I was like, "Oh my God." And I went home and I told a friend of mine, "Hey man, stupid. That was pretty foolish." And he started laughing. He just laughed, right? But, you don't understand all these things. You're in school and you've been in the penitentiary for 30 years off and on, and you're dealing with a different type of population. And, in the penitentiary, you don't treat people the way she treated me. Because if you do, they'll stab you. You know what I mean? So I had to learn a lot of things, and it took me a while, to. But I don't know. I mean, I had a couple of bad situations here where one student said, "Oh, well, you're just an ex-con." And I looked at her like, and the sociology professor, Dr. O'Brien, went, "Oh," like, "uh-oh," right? And I said, "Really?" I said, well, I don't know. She made it sound like she was better, right? I said, well, I don't know. I am just an ex-con. But what I know this today, you and me and you both are in the same university, in the same classroom, attempting to get the same degree. So I don't know who's better, me or you or me. I don't know. But I know we're equal right now in this classroom. And then she shut up. So, I mean, but by and large, my experience in the college has been pretty nice.
Did you have any special programs you were a part of, or any kind of special?
No. I mean, well, the Department of Rehab. The Department of Rehab paid for my master's. They paid for it. And they paid for my bachelor's. And they paid for my books, and they gave me a traveling stipend, and they bought me some clothing, and they invested in me. And I think it was a good investment.
Was there any specific factors or situation or events or people or other things that contributed to your successful completion of your college degree? You now have your doctorates. Maybe talk about maybe all those things, specific factors, situations. Okay, we got about 8 minutes.
Well, there has been many people that have contributed to my success. Dr. Garcia was a tremendous mentor. Dr. Nancy Jean Smith, tremendous. She was my chair. We used to go to her house. I used to go to her house and talk about my dissertation and just many things. She would invite me to parties to sort of acclimate me, into mainstream, right? Because even though I was in school, I didn't really understand a lot of social stuff, right? And so there's been, many, many people that have, in small ways, big ways, facilitated my journey. You know what I'm saying? I can't give credit to anyone specifically, but those two people probably, the most.
So with those factors, the things that they gave you, how important do you feel that is that you do in your life for people that are starting this journey of higher ed? How important are those factors?
Well, the things that I help, when I work with people that come from the penitentiary, I give them my experiences. And I tell them, look, man, I've already paved the way. The way has already been paved. Let me help you. Let me guide you. You do the work, but I'll guide you, and I'll help you. I'll help you in any way I can, and I'll motivate you, and I'll encourage you, because that's what was done for me. And so I do it a little bit differently because, remember, my background is a little different. Completely different than theirs, right? They never went to prison. They never were in a prison gang. They never were in street gangs. They never were heroin addicts. I was all those things, and yet here I am. You know what I'm saying? And today, what I do today is, I work with the criminal justice system for the defense side, because I believe they need a voice, and so I'm their voice.
So as far as one particular factor, do you think there's a factor that stands out in your head that they need to be going on to higher ed that would help them?
You mean anybody? Perseverance. Perseverance, man. And because, you, me, we're going to encounter, challenges time and time again. The only difference between me and you is that you probably grew up in a way where you were taught maybe how to, I don't know, but I'm just saying that you were taught maybe how to navigate your way a little bit better than me. Whereas I came up against a challenge and I took care of it with violence. So now I'm in this setting. You can't get violent. You know what I mean? I can't hit you in the mouth and make you like me or think like me or whatever the case may be. So I think perseverance and to be able to overcome the challenges because we have many more challenges than most people. Remember, we are socially stagnated. When I started this journey, I was 45 years old. My first girlfriend was 21. And you know what? She told me, everything you're learning, I already know. And I said, I know. But I didn't know because I had never been involved in that kind of stuff. I didn't even know what love was. So we're socially stagnated, emotionally stagnated. So to be able to persevere and know that we're smart enough and we have enough skills because we navigated our way through the jungle, right? Where there was a lot of lions and we overcame. So we use those skills to bring them this way and now apply them positively, right? And all we have to do is persevere, man, because we have the intelligence, we have the skills, we have, the manipulative skills. All we got to do is manipulate in a good way, you know.
Dr. Dela Cruz, thank you so much.
Thank you.
I really appreciate it. I have to tell you,